So when we start up Maya, we come over here, we click our little startup button, it'll pop up with a really boring, generic Autodesk Maya opening image screen. Now, okay, so it's not that boring. It's pretty cool, but it's not as cool as something you could do for yourself. So what I want to do is I want to customize that screen when I open up Maya. There's a really cool way to do that. I want to give a huge shout out to Malcolm341 on YouTube for teaching me how to do this, and I will leave a link to his video below. Let's go ahead and start by closing Maya. So in order to be able to customize this, we have to go into the folder where our icons are held at. You'll see, I've got a list of custom ones here for starting up Maya for the professional version. But there's also a list of them for the educational version, which is the version I'm running off of right now while I teach at Gnomon. Okay, so these images are what I want to replace. You only really necessarily need to replace the one that says Maya EDU startup image, or the Maya startup image one. You don't have to replace all three of them like I did here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to control copy, and then I'm just going to take this. Malcolm went ahead and he put it on his desktop. That's totally fine. It's not showing up for me for right now. I must have put it over on my other desktop, on my other screen. You see, there it is right there. Okay, so you put it on your desktop. That's where you can go ahead and you can edit it and things like that, opening up in Photoshop. Well, I wanted to do something. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's say open with Photoshop. So once we get our image into Photoshop, this is where we can go ahead and do whatever we want to it. Now, what's really cool that I experimented with, you'll notice that like with my icons, I went ahead and I brought in, made this one in particular, just made something custom, made something so that it looked pretty, whatever. You can do something so much cooler than this with it. Okay. One of the cool things about this logo is that it's a PNG format, and so it respects transparency. So one of the things that I went through and did is I used my recent Storm project and converted that into my desktop logo. Okay, so just gonna go ahead. I can export different sizes of this if I wanted to, and that'll help to kind of make it so that it might be a little bit faster in the load. Right now it's really pretty big. I don't need it to be this big. So one of the things I can do is I'm going to say Control Shift S, and I'm going to go ahead and select my PNG format. You see I've already got one selected here. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the one. I don't need to have a different version of it. I'll replace the old one, okay, which will be replacing this one. Okay, since I have it select copy to my folder, you say yes. Okay. Then here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and say, I could say quick export. I'm going to say open. Let's open that image. This is the extra one, the one with the one on the end. So go through and I can modify that and make it smaller or whatever. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say image size, and we're going to take this down to, what was the width that the original was at? We're going to want to make it smaller. So let's say let's open this one up so we can see what the original size was. Go to image size. You see it's an 860 width. I'm not going to worry about the height because she breaks the silhouette, but I'll worry about the width. I think that'll be fine. So I'll take it down to maybe 860. We'll do that because this is the exact dimensions of the original one. So let's come over here. Let's come image size, and we're going to take the width down to 860. And let's make sure that's constrained. 860. Okay. So now, it's not a whole lot smaller, but it might make a little bit of a difference when it's loading. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to say File, Save As. And go ahead and get rid of that one. Replace the one that's there and say save. You want to replace it? Yes. Okay. So now that we have this, I need to replace it in my folder so that it'll load up properly when when I load in Maya. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to count. Here's the folder that I need to copy things to. Okay. Now I have another folder where I have, where I have my images stored. So I'm just going to select this, Control Copy. I'm going to come back over to this folder. Just click in here to be able to, deselect everything. Control V to replace the file in this destination. Usually there will be a pop-up box that says something to the effect of you need administrative privileges. So, if that's the case and you're working on your own computer, go ahead and say yes, whatever. If not, it's probably not a big deal. You probably shouldn't be changing all the images anyway. But now that we have this in here, go ahead and select Maya, have it open up. And there we are. And one of the things I'm noticing is that the startup dialog at the bottom left-hand corner of that image is actually hanging off the side. I'm not sure that I like that, so I might need to go through and modify things just a little bit. So let's try something just for the sake of having it be nice and clean. We're going to go ahead and take this image. I'm going to say Control T just to be able to kind of scale it down. Just kind of make it so that it's not intruding on that bottom corner, and then it'll just be part of the area without actually being killed by or killing the actual image. Okay, so startup image, we're going to replace that. Hit save, yes. Okay. Shrink that again. Okay, icons. Control copy. Control paste. Replace the file. And there we go. Okay, so let's give this another shot. I don't need this over here. Just to make it nice and clean. And there we go. So now that dialogue is happening off of that main box. And, it keeps the box looking nice and clean. And there we go. We're ready to use Maya. Alright. That's it for today. Thanks again for joining Patreon. I'm so grateful to have you here. I look forward to many, many exciting new projects coming in the future. Stay tuned. Smartest out.